don't know about you, but I'm ready to move past the whole Thanksgiving side in a ginormous casserole dish. Today, I'm gonna show you how to take a Thanksgiving side that we normally eat heapings of and make it a little more bite-sized. So when I was thinking about what I'm thankful for this year, the first thing that came to my mind was actually my muffin tin. The muffin tin is so versatile, you can do so many fun things with it, particularly when it comes to side dishes. So today I'm taking your traditional Thanksgiving stuffing and making what I'm calling Stuffin Muffins. So to start this recipe, which we'll have below in the description, I'm gonna start with browning some mild pork sausage. And we're just gonna brown this in a heated pan, about medium heat. I'm gonna make sure and crumble this with my spoon as I cook it because I don't want huge chunks of pork in my stuffing. I want it to be crumbled. So I love stuffing, but I have to tell you, the way I grew up eating stuffing was cornbread stuffing. Actually, probably my favorite combination is cornbread and like a sweeter bread, like a brioche or something like that. But the thing about that kind of stuffing is it doesn't really work to be in a muffin because it's a really loose stuffing. And it's delicious, but I really like this recipe a lot because we're toasting the bread before we put in the muffins, and it holds together better, so you get that muffin shape. So when you're thinking about using your favorite stuffing recipe, which you totally can do, you may wanna go a little light on the liquid, or if you're using something like cornbread, which can get really crumbly, maybe pairing it with a bread, a heartier bread, like a sourdough, that can help soak up some of that liquid, because if your stuffing is too liquidy, it won't make that muffin shape. So our pork sausage is looking browned, and it's okay if it's not cooked all the way through yet because now we're gonna add some veggies and it's gonna continue to cook. So we're gonna add 1 onion diced. Growing up, we would use Vidalia onions, which I think are really good. It's like a sweet onion. And then we're gonna add chopped celery and garlic and a little bit of butter. It's just some extra flavor. Who doesn't love butter, especially on Thanksgiving? We're just gonna let this saute until the onions get nice and translucent and softened. Our celery softens a little bit. And while this is cooking, while this is sauteing, you can keep this on about medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and stir together our egg and our spices. So the egg is gonna help your stuffing muffins stay together. So growing up, my mom was a hospice nurse and she would always invite her patients over to have meals with us, which was super cool, and it's kind of where my love for cooking for people and having people over and making everything really, I don't know, presented in a really beautiful way comes from my mom because she was like the queen of hospitality. So I remember Thanksgivings where we would have people that she worked with, her patients, people that in our neighborhood. Every Thanksgiving morning, my dad would make trout cakes, which are like kind of like crab cakes, but you make them with trout because he's like a big fisherman. And we'd invite our whole neighborhood over. So we would start Thanksgiving off with a bang because we'd have our neighborhood over, we'd have coffee and trout cakes, and then we'd have even more people over for Thanksgiving dinner. So it's a super cool holiday. I have a lot of good memories of it. So that's why I like kind of doing fun twist on Thanksgiving side dishes because it keeps it fun, it keeps it interesting, and it's easy to serve when it's in like a little muffin tin. So, okay, y'all, this is looking awesome. Our butter's melted, our onions are looking softened. So I'm gonna take this off the heat for just a little bit. That way it'll be a little cooler and easier to stir into our toasted bread cubes. So this is sourdough bread that we cut into cubes, and then we baked it for about 10 to 15 minutes at about 375, just till it's nice and crispy and golden brown. All right, so we are gonna begin to build our stuffin' muffin mixture. These are our toasted bread cubes, and we're gonna stir them into our sauteed sausage and onions and celery. Woo! Bread on the loose. So we're gonna stir this together as much as you can. But now to make things come together, we're gonna add our egg that we whisked with our herbs and our spices. Uncle Herb is invited to Thanksgiving this year. I'm gonna invite our Uncle Herb to the party. And we're also gonna add chicken broth. Okay, we're gonna stir all this together as best you can. You're just gonna get this all nice and combined. Make sure that all of your bread cubes get a little bit of the liquid moisture on there. So we are ready to put together our stuffing muffins. I'm gonna pour, or really I'm gonna scoop our stuffing mixture into a 12-count muffin tin that has been sprayed with cooking spray. And we're gonna build our little muffins. You're gonna fill them pretty much full. They won't change size a bunch as you bake them, so you wanna make them pretty full so they'll make that full muffin cup shape. It smells so good. That smell of the sausage and the melted butter and the onions. Wee-wee, this is gonna be delicious. And after we fill all of these muffins up with the mixture, we're gonna actually press them flat so that the bottoms bake evenly and we get that muffin shape. Keep on stuffing. It's like a Thanksgiving motto. Keep on stuffing. Okay, another brilliant thing I love about a muffin tin is it's so helpful when it comes to leftovers. So you could even take stuffing that you've already made, some leftover turkey, pile it into the muffin tin, crisp it up a little bit, maybe top it with some cranberry sauce. That would be delish. So now that those are filled, we're gonna push them down lightly just to create that muffin shape so they bake flat. If you don't want to use your hands, I understand. You could use a spatula, flat end of a spatula, push them down. All right, so that looks great. So I'm gonna put these in a 375-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. So I have our Stuffin Muffins out of the oven. That rhymed, I like that. But because they don't have quite the full muffin shape, I'm gonna use mashed potatoes to create a little muffin top. And one of my favorite things about this recipe is if I was to sit down at a Thanksgiving table and see these presented to me, I would be like, what the flip? I want to eat that now. Because we eat with our eyes first. So I love that this recipe incorporates all of your favorite Thanksgiving sides. You know, your Aunt Joyce and your Meemaw have a recipe for mashed potatoes you love, or stuffing. You can really use whatever your favorites are here. The only tip I would give you is when you're making your mashed potatoes and your stuffing, just use a little bit less liquid than you normally do to make sure they stay nice and fluffy and full. I'm gonna top our last Stuffin Muffin with some mashed potatoes that we have. So just fill up your ice cream scoop, cafeteria lady style, on top of your Stuffin Muffin, release. So cute. So we're gonna top this with some gravy. Again, your favorite gravy recipe will work here. Drizzle some on top. Gorgeous. Look at that gravy flow. Beautiful. And then I have some fresh rosemary because we talked about eating with our eyes first. And we're just gonna top our Stuffin Muffins with cute little rosemary bunches, maybe some leaves, just kind of however it falls. Love it. And if you don't love rosemary, you could use thyme, you could use, chopped sage, whatever you like here. I love the green of the rosemary and how kind of holiday it looks. Cute. Super cute. All right, so we have our Stuffin Muffins all plated and gravied and beautiful. We have our Thanksgiving table set. It's very fall with the gourds and the beautiful colors. But before my friends and family come over, I'm gonna capture this setting. So this Thanksgiving, I'm eating for two, so let's dig in. That's delicious. I wanna see how you style your Stuffin Muffins. So tag @PopKitchen on Instagram and comment below. I wanna know what you wanna see me style next. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.